You're listening to the Beans and Dice podcast, a podcast about how we game.
Okay, my next one I think is a game that all three of us have played. It was my second game of the con after we finished Picture Perfect. Dan, William, and I broke off, and we decided to play a game. We were waiting for Carlos and Mitchell and a couple other guys from our group to arrive. They were going to get there later in the day. So we decided to go play a game that we'd all knew, something we didn't have to learn, that we could just knock out real quick to kind of keep the con rolling. And we played Furnace, another brand new game that's just recently come out. Furnace 2021 release. I think it probably just came out with the last month or two. Been getting a lot of good reviews. We had played before. William brought over a copy, and I know Carlos actually had a chance to play it several days before I did. Him and William played it, and then William taught it to me. It was either later that day or the next day or something, and a really great game. This is another, I would say, a quick, light game. It's listed here on BGG as a 30 to 60 minutes. I guess depending on the number of players, it plays 2 to 4. Publisher by listed here is Hobby.
Arcane Wonders is the one that did ours.
Okay,
because that Williams copy is Arcane Wonders. I think him and Mitch ended up buying it at Gen Con. Is that right?
Gen Con.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, he demoed it at Gen Con and immediately bought it.
So I mean, it's one of those kinds of games that I think a lot of people will play it and immediately buy it. The rules are really quick and light. It's easy to teach. There is definitely some complexity to it. There is an easy mode, which is actually the only mode that I've played so far, that when you draft these cards, you get to put them in any order and kind of activate them in any order after each of the 4 rounds. This game only lasts 4 rounds. There's a hard mode where when you draft the cards, you have to put them out in front of you in a certain order, and then you activate them from left to right as you go through. But so I'm interested in trying that version of it. Furnace is a game where you got these 4 tokens. There's a 1, 2, 3, and 4, and you're placing those out in your color to bid on different cards that are out in a market, in a auction area in the middle. And you just kind of go around the table and around the table. The only 2 rules to it is you can't place 2 of your tokens normally on the same card, and then the other rule is that you can't put the same number someone else has. So if somebody's bid their 4th chip already, you can't put a 4 on that same card. You can put a 3, 2, or 1. And the reason you might want to do that is with a 3, 2, or 1 is that if you don't win the card, whoever has the highest is going to win that card and put it in their tableau at the end of the round. But there is a resource at the top or an action at the top of each card that if you don't win the card, you get to activate that, either get that many resources or activate that action the number of times of the losing bid. And so if somebody puts a 4 and I put a 3 and then somebody else puts a 2, a different person puts a 2 on top, the person who put the 4 is going to win the card at the end, is going to be able to use that over and over through the remaining rounds of the game. But the person who put the 3 is going to activate that top action that many times, and then the person who put the 2 is going to be able to also activate that action or take that resource.
That consolation prize times the number of the token you put on there. That's so cool.
Right. So that is the really cool aspect of it, is how, sometimes you'll bluff. You'll put the 3 on a card and you're like, I hope somebody outbids me. I'm going to kind of act like I really want that card, but I'm really hoping somebody throws their 4 on it. They feel the pressure that they think I'm going for it. They're going to go snag it with their 4, but what I really wanted was to take that resource 3 times or do that action, convert coal to oil 3 times. And so, really cool mechanic on it. It's quick. Again, it's 30 minutes, I'd say 30 to 45 minutes once you know the game, even with multiple players. And then as far as a rating, my final thought on it, I'm going to rate this one really high. I've played it, I think, 3 or 4 times now, and I'm going to give it an 8, another 8. So I would say it's a game that I pretty much would recommend to people, and I'd play pretty much any time and hit the table. It's a solid game. But what do you think about that one, Mitch?
Yeah, I really like Furnace. I think me and Will played it 3 times back to back at Gen Con, and then this is the first time I played it since. Actually, you guys were we were about to play a game of Aquatica, and then I noticed a yellow flag on Furnace, and like Nick was saying on the call-in show, for some reason I just really enjoyed sitting down and teaching people I didn't know games. So I jumped in. I taught them the game. It was a full 4-player game. I think this is now my favorite bidding game because I'm bad at bidding games, and this is the one that rewards you for losing. And like you were saying, sometimes you actually want to lose because the reward you're going to get is better than the card. I like that it's quick. I like that the rule set is light, but it's really brain burning, especially in later rounds, to figure out which order to action those cards. I've never tried the advanced variant where you have to keep your engine in the same order every time. I think that would break me mentally.
Well, I saw something interesting, just to chime in on that real quick. I saw a review, actually it might have been Dice Tower's review, or no, it was a different review I saw the other day. They mentioned that there's a plus and a minus to that variant. A lot of people look at it just immediately and think, oh, that's going to be harder. In the early game, it actually makes the game a little slower because you're really trying to set that that order. But in the later game, and especially with the final scoring, it makes it a lot faster, right? Because you're not sitting there thinking about, all right, I want to activate that, to do that, to tap that, to do that. You just have to go left to right. And so you don't have all those long decisions late in the game of how you're going to stack these resources and how you're going to spend them.
That's really going to bring the rating of the game up a point, because that's one of the things that I would say for me detracted from the game. Towards the end game, watching William and I try to parse out what order we're doing stuff in. Took away a point for me of the rating of the game.
Yeah, so I really want to try that mode that they call it the advanced mode. I really want to try that out just to see how that does affect things. But it seems to me like that would be a lot of fun.
Yeah, carry on, Mitch. That's a good point.
Yeah, so my rating I would say is an 8. I agree with Rob.
Okay, another 8. Yeah.
See, so this is one I would seek out.
Okay. Yeah.
Like I really wanted to play it at the Dice Tower Retreat. I was more limited on time than y'all because I was driving back and forth to Tampa, picking up my family, bringing them for the event, so I didn't get to get it in. It's one that I wanted to get in. I'm at a 9.
I can see
on that.
Yeah.
In desire to play and the game itself, and talking about the advance rule, which I didn't understand as well.
Right.
Really solidifies that 9 for me. Like I want to say 8. Because it does get a little brain burny at the end trying to figure out your order of operations. But if you're setting them early on, you're spending that brain capital early and that time early to then at the end when your engine is a lot longer, you're not making decisions.
Right.
That is an awesome trade-off. I think that needs to be the basic game.
Yeah. Well, as it stands right now, without that variant, I mean, the beginning game is really quick. And I'm thinking back of my couple of plays. When you're grabbing the cards and doing stuff, that first round, maybe first 2 rounds are really, really quick. I mean, you're just grabbing. And all right, I'm just going to tap these. I'm only got 3 or 4 cards to worry about. I'm going to tap them in this order or whatever. But yeah, I mean, it would slow that down because now you're really trying to set that order, trying to think ahead about what's going to happen.
Every round.
Right. So it's going to slow that part of it down, but then the end, when you actually are cashing stuff in and tapping cards, that's going to go lightning fast, I would think. So, yeah.
Yeah, and that's when it needs to go faster, right? At the end of the game, when you've got more cards, that's when you really need the help in speeding up the game.
Yeah.
So we let's get that one to the table.
Yeah, let's do that again.